Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. There's Troy laughing with his gin and a grin, telling stories about where he's been. Boomer's got whiskey, he's loosening his tie, chasing dreams under a midday sky. The bartender knows us, he's mixing with flair. Every sip's a moment we're happy to share. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for the day. The clock don't matter, we're lost in the vibe. Jazz in the air, feel the soul come alive. From martinis to bourbon, we're riding the wave. Stealing this hour, it's the freedom we crave. The sun's still shining, but we're in our zone. This bar's our shelter, our temporary home. One more round before the world calls us back. Savor the moment, keep the blues in the rack. We'll laugh and we'll toast till the afternoon fades. Memories made in these liquid escapades. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for the day. So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun. Our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon. Chasing that jazz under the high noon.
Va salute. We made it to Tuesday. Welcome all. So glad you could be here today. Yeah, this is what, 2/5 of the way through the work week. Actually, I don't know. I guess it's depending on how you break it up. About midway through the show, or about a third of the way through it. I don't know. Anyway, guys, welcome. Today is Tuesday, where we focus on your thoughts. If you are willing to share them in the chat, you by all means can lead the show however you wish. Tell me what you're thinking about. Tell me what your thoughts are. What topic you'd like me to talk about today. Keeping in mind I haven't prepared anything, I'd be going off the cuff. AMA, Ask Me Anything, which, of course, you can do any day, but especially on Tuesdays. I look to you to tell me what you want to talk about today. I've got something up to potentially talk about otherwise, but you're probably tired of hearing about it, so you might want to interject with your own thoughts and so forth. But my predominant thought right now is to say hi to each and every one of you, starting with the first person to get a comment in today, which was Big Al of Big Al Presents, saying, "Happy Tuesday, Liquid Lunchers. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Have a great show, Troy." Thank you very much, Big Al. Yeah, he probably noticed that I got I think I got the stream up later than I ever have before. No, that might not be true. I think there was one time I was scrambling to get the stream up like when it was almost time to go live. But it was pretty close. It was pretty close this morning. There's the love of my life saying that I am the love of hers, and asking all of you to like, share, subscribe, Leave a comment, become a member, give a gifty if you are feeling particularly generous. Hail Connie Cleary, the bird woman of YouTube, and the star of Fluff Chick Productions. Hope you are doing well, my friend. Jonathan Conroy says, hail all, smash the like button, and enjoy the show. Yes, please do those things. That is very important. Otherwise, you won't want to come back. Oh, wow. Jonathan Conroy is making chili on a wood stove. Good on you, mate. Back to basics. That's what we really all have to do. Wallace Lang, haven't seen you in a minute, my friend. He says, hail all. And I'm sure we'll be seeing you tonight. If not for Live from Sparkwood in 21, then definitely for Sherlock Holmes, I would imagine. Yeah, chili. Absolutely right. So I did an unboxing yesterday of Spate's catalog, and haven't had a chance to really look at it yet. In fact, I started to look at it as the opening credits were rolling, and I was like, I can't read this. It's too dark in here, and I don't have my glasses. I'm getting old. I'm getting so old. But you know what else is getting old? I told you. If you guys... Oh, yeah. This is what we watched yesterday. Ex Machina. It was very disturbing. It was very, very disturbing. How potentially realistic it really was. A couple of little plot points that I think didn't make a whole lot of sense. But then again, I will never overestimate the human potential. I think that people are stupider than we even realize, and I think we see that in many of the decisions being made with the way AI is being handled. There's a lot of stupid out there. Let's just put it that way. And I do think that humanity is going to find interesting and creative ways to destroy itself if it's not very, very careful, and it's not very, very careful. So let me share my screen here. So yeah, this is back again. Paramount Skydance issues new bid. We knew they would. Warner Brothers Discovery to review while still backing a Netflix deal. So the folks over at WDW Pro were chatting about this morning. In fact, they were doing so just as I was going live. And they had some really, really interesting comments. It really does look like, and I'll get into this article in just a second, but it really does look like Paramount is really, really pushing for this deal. They definitely at this point have the better deal. Wait a minute. I'm so old. We had Brontosaurus burgers in the cafeteria. Let me tell you something. I'm so old, I remember when it was Brontosaurus before it was Apatosaurus. And then they brought back the term Brontosaurus for a different dinosaur. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and become a member. And if you were going to gift a super chat of $5 or more, why not make that a gifted membership instead to make our family grow? That would be a wonderful thing to do. Do you know that in Japan, there are scientists who are developing robotic androids to look just like human beings? Yeah, and I would have, just completely dismissed that, except I have started to see silicone masks that are so realistic. These masks where you put the mask on over your head, and it sits almost really, really flush with your eyes. And because it hugs you tight, the lips move with your mouth. And if you're not too close, it looks super, super realistic. And in fact, I remember, was it Bryan Cranston wore a mask of himself to a convention to see how people would respond to him. And when he took the mask off, he was still him. I thought that was kind of funny. But when I saw that, I was like, we really are kind of getting there. But then as I was watching the movie last night, I got to thinking that silicone is about as close as we've gotten to the look of human skin, but it's still not there. It really still is not there. And honestly, I feel like we're never going to have truly realistic synthetic humans without, unfortunately, using actual biological Terminator-like, right? So what was the Terminator? The Terminator was a robot endoskeleton with the computer brain and all that kind of stuff, with a covering of biology, right? So it had flesh, it had blood, and so forth. Literally, if you cut it, it bled, but that blood was only keeping the skin alive, and it was like basically real skin grown from cloning or grafts or whatever you would from a real person. I think someday that's what we're going to be seeing, and that I find absolutely terrifying. Got my order on Sydney Sweeney 1000. There you go. Started with the prawn industry, and now it's going farther to other industries. Yeah, well, I don't know if people realize this. This is not me being, dirty old man. This is legit. This is really true. The history of a lot of technological advances, particularly artistic ones, is driven by pornography. It really is. The phenomenon behind home media was very much driven by that industry. People, what is the line from Coupling? The history of man is driven by a desire to see other people's naked bottoms. We invented fire so that we could see naked bottoms in the dark. And that's actually kind of true. Fire looks like, although it was absolutely used for cooking initially and for protection, the use of it as a light source in caves, based on what we've been seeing in wall paintings, might have been to give motion to the static images they put on walls. But that's beside the point. It really is true that when VHS, which was, let's face it, the first viable video standard for home use, Betamax kind of, but let's face it, it was VHS. They were incredibly expensive. You had to be rich to be able to afford them. I think it was back in like the late 70s, early 80s, they were like $1,000 for a machine. Most people couldn't afford them. And that's in 70s and 80s dollars, not modern dollars. So the movie stores had rentals of the video player. You would rent the video player when you were renting the movies that you were watching. The movies were over $100 when they hit the market. They were very cost prohibitive for the average person. Those prices came way, way down as more and more people started to obtain these machines. What was the driving force for people to obtain these machines? Yes, they wanted to be able to watch The Wizard of Oz. They wanted to be able to watch It's a Wonderful Life, whatever it was. But it was mostly driven by wanting to watch naked bottoms, and it was that whole industry and then that made it affordable to the non-gooners out there. So, that's really how it happened. And a lot of people have been saying, yeah, this is what's pushing robotics, is trying to create artificial companionship is what's really, really pushing it. That's very sad, but it just is the truth. Yeah, and this should not be any big surprise. This should not be any big surprise. That is the obvious what people want. The adult film industry was an early adopter of the medium. The first recorded naughty film, French, The Bridegroom's Bedtime, was released in 1896. Yeah, it was also a big push for it kind of ushered in, and it was, and that's back when that kind of stuff was illegal. That was considered indecent. You could go to jail just for possessing it. But you just can't stop people when they want their endorphin hit. So yeah, those they were called stag films because you really only saw them at bachelor parties and stuff like that. Well, for the most part. I would prefer to think about classic literature such as the Holy Bible and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes mysteries. Yeah. I mean, I tend to agree, but the printing press was used for much more bawdy purposes for the average person, and books were still being done by hand. Still being done by hand. Every time something makes things more available to the mass public, it usually has a very lowest common denominator element to it. My first VHS tape cost me $60. The player was free. Gotta love college kids leaving dorms for the summer. Interesting. There you go. So let's talk a little bit about this. Unless you guys want to continue talking about, the history of VHS and its connection to the adult entertainment industry. Paramount Skydance has reportedly made a new improved bid to purchase Warner Brothers Discovery. The exact amount of the bid is unknown as of press time, according to Deadline. Warner Brothers Discovery, and you will remember that I think it was on Geeky Geezers. I did predict that we would be getting another Paramount bid that was going to make it completely impossible for Netflix to match it dollar for dollar. And so you cannot argue that this is not the better bet from the point of view of the shareholders. So we're going to get to the fact that Warner Brothers is still acting like they're going to go with Netflix. But I really do believe that has to do with some sort of a deal that we are not privy to that may or may not come out in court filings. Warner Brothers Discovery is once again at the center of a high-stakes media battle as the company prepares to review this fresh offer from Paramount Skydance, even while formally recommending its existing agreement with Netflix to shareholders. According to a new report from Variety, Warner Brothers Discovery's board is expected to inform investors that it will examine the latest bit of Paramount Skydance ahead of the March 20th shareholders vote on the Netflix transaction. The situation puts the Paramount Warner Brothers drama back in the spotlight as multiple media giants jockey for control of key entertainment assets. My brother Larry bought an early VHS VCR in the 1970s while he was attending college at one of the state universities in our home state. A lot of the people that I knew that obtained home media devices, whether it was betas or VHS or whatever, oftentimes got them from schools secondhand. So the schools, usually have public dollars, tax dollars that they can throw at their getting the newest technology and saying, it's for education. So, for example, all of schools that I remember did not have initially VCRs. They had something called VTRs. Those were the earliest magnetic media tape players, which is what VHS and beta both were, VCRs. But it was much chunkier, right? Which actually had much higher resolution and better sound, but it was used in professional areas. It wasn't really marketed to the home market, but the only reason some of them got into the home markets was because schools bought them to be able to show audio visuals and so on and so forth. Then when they started buying VCRs, they sold all the VTRs, get them out, and, people ended up getting those. And then as newer and newer models came in, the schools would buy the VCRs, sell secondhand the VCRs. And secondhand is always significantly cheaper. But I remember we had our first VCR was chunky. It really was. It was a top loader. You'd slide the cassette in and push it down, and it was very loud gears inside and stuff. But we upgraded in time. Then we had the front loader and so forth. I worked at a video store in the late 80s. So the guy there, a big part of his business was repairing machines. So I really kind of got to learn how they worked. Is this where? Yes. And unfortunately, they're being stamped out in Japan by machine. So that's the problem here. Kapla, here I are, late, but here. Well, the good news, retina is attached. No tears. There was a blood vessel that broke. Follow up again next week. I still blame the show for seeing what I can't unsee. Yeah, that whole Starfleet Academy. But if you're having a blood vessel issue, you might want to check that blood pressure again, my friend. That concerns me. The VTR was reel-to-reel machine. Well, the first ones were. They eventually put them into giant cassettes, but yeah. Don't forget those clicky things. Like, share, subscribe, become a member. Do it now. Yes, absolutely. The late 80s of which century? Cute, my friend. If we were talking about the 1880s, we'd be talking about the early days of moving pictures, going into silent films. Started out with those rotary run. What were they called? You'd look into the visor. I can't remember. And you'd see them at carnivals and stuff like that. That's really kind of how it started. And you'd have these little, like, 1 minute, vignettes. But speaking of just a minute or two, actually 3 minutes, I want to get my promotions in for the week so you guys know what's coming up, including for the members' night at the movies. And then we will come back to what you're saying, and then, whatever I got to say over here. Be right back.
You are watching Liquid Lunch, streaming every weekday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's sip together. This week on Live from Sparkwood and 21, there won't be a rewatch. Rather, the superfans will be doing a deep dive discussion of the pilot episode we watched this past week. There was just too much to say in one stream. Join us this Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Central, 8:30 Eastern on Deleted Scenes and Affiliates.
Holmes receives a surprise visit from the Prime Minister, asking his assistance in the recovery of a sensitive diplomatic letter stolen from a diplomat's home. Can Holmes recover this letter so incendiary that it might lead Great Britain into war if published? We'll find out this Tuesday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Last Call presents the return of Sherlock Holmes.
Hello. While you're here, please visit our merch store where you can get cute t-shirts just like this, link in the description below, or use this QR code on your mobile device. Hope you find something you like.
This week on Saturday Night at the Movies, an honest, good-hearted man is forced to turn to a life of crime to finance his neurotic mother's skyrocketing medical bills in the 1930s. And organized crime has never been so disorganized. Michael Keaton stars in the 1984 comedy classic Johnny Dangerously this Saturday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Big Al Presents Films with Friends.
Every Monday night is Members' Night at the movies on Last Call. Members enjoy an exclusive watch party just for them, and you can join too for as little as $1.99 a month. This week, since the topic for Last Call will be a retrospective of The Incredible Hulk with a special subject matter expert guest, the fans will be choosing between 4 different Hulk features to watch together this Monday at 9 Central. And if you're not a member, please consider it. It really helps support what we do here at Last Call. Thanks. We now return to our liquid lunch.
Jonathan Conroy says the place I work at has a basement full of miscellaneous electronic equipment from the 70s. They keep on talking about getting rid of it, but they look at the cost. Yeah, if they're looking to pay somebody to haul stuff away as garbage, yeah, it's going to cost them. But that's not good business sense. You look at that and you go, the space is more valuable to me than not using it. So what do I do to get rid of it, and how can I do it and make money instead of spending money? So what you do is you tell people, look, we got all this junk. Come make me an offer and we'll sell it to you. And just you get nickels and dimes for stuff. It's better than paying out to get rid of it. Just you got to haul it away. Tim says, yes, I watched one of those machines back in 2006 when I visited the LA Hollywood Heritage Museum. There you go. I love old electronics, useful for model railroad when repurposed. Yeah. Well, look at this. If you need anything that's got small electronics with moving parts, there's a lot of little servos and gears and little motors inside of VCRs that you could absolutely repurpose. Once Blockbuster and local mom and pop rental shops started appearing, they didn't want to stock 2 versions of every movie because there were more VHS players in homes. They stocked more VHS. Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's basically how VHS won the war. They underbid Betamax on the price of their cassettes, taking a short-term loss so that in the long term they would be the only game in town. This created the death spiral for Betamax. If you couldn't rent movies for it, you wouldn't buy the player. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So there you go. Don't want to talk about Warner Brothers anymore. Just wanted to share with you that it's still going on and that Paramount made another deal. But what I did want to share too was this one was bothering me last week. I was planning at the beginning of the year to start really pushing the Discord for Last Call and moving the members' night at the movies to Discord rather than using Cosme until they started this age verification crap. We talked about this last week where they had said they wanted to force you to share with them your ID to prove your age. Now it looks like they're dropping the ID check partner, but it still looks like they're looking for some sort of age verification. So I want to kind of see what this is that they're talking about in this regard. So despite speculation online, Discord has not announced any pause or cancellation of global age verification beginning early in March 2026. If the changes go into effect as planned, all users will receive teen by default settings, and thus seeking access to age-restricted spaces may be prompted to verify their age. The confusion likely stems from the reports that the messaging service has ended its partnership with Persona, a third-party identification verification company. Discord has received heavy criticism as it attempts to streamline its age assurance system and make certain that vendors protect users' personal information. In a February 9, 2006 press release, Discord said that all new and existing users would have a teen-appropriate experience by default with updated communication settings, restricted access to age-gated spaces, and content filtering. Once the changes take place, users who want access to age-restricted channels, servers, or commands will need to verify their age. The decision was met with immediate backlash from users who doubted Discord's ability to protect their information. Ars Technica. Let me try that one more time. Ars Technica reported that in October 2025, hackers stole government IDs of 70,000 Discord users from a third-party service that Discord previously trusted to verify ages in the United Kingdom and Australia. Criticism intensified when Discord posted that some UK users were part of an experiment to run experiment run by Persona, and their information could be stored for up to 7 days. This seemed at odds with the earlier statement that information would be immediately deleted, leading critics to point out the confusion and question how the data was handled. They also noted that Persona was not listed as one of Discord's partners. Discord clarified to Ars Technica that the experiment had concluded and that it had ended its partnership with Persona. The company promised to keep its users informed as vendors are added or updated. Despite speculation online, Discord has not announced any pause or cancellation in its broader age verification rollout, suggesting it is still scheduled to begin in March 2026. Age verification is one of the most direct means of meeting new social media requirements as part of Australia's under 16 social media ban and the United Kingdom's Online Safety Act. Discord has not confirmed the new legislation was a factor in the decision. Why else would you do it? However, the new legislation places an obligation on platforms to perform underage users prevent underage users from accessing harmful content. If Discord intends to continue operating in jurisdictions with stricter age requirements, some form of age assurance will likely be necessary. A key challenge for the company will be finding third-party vendor that satisfies regulators while reassuring privacy conscious users. WebPro News notes that the identity verification industry is growing rapidly, with companies like Persona, Jumio, Onfido, and Yoti competing for contracts with platforms under regulatory pressure. With Persona out of the picture, it remains unclear which third-party vendor Discord may be considering to meet the requirements of UK regulators. However, now that Discord has promised greater transparency, it is a decision users will be watching closely. In October 2025, security breach involved an unnamed third-party vendor underlined the risk of collecting user information. Even with assurances that personal information will not be permanently stored, centralized identity collection presents a potential target, and past breaches prove that no system is immune. Additionally, many Discord users value their anonymity. Linking a legal identity to their account raises concerns that platforms like Discord could be used as a gateway to state surveillance and normalizing of turning over personal information to corporate entities. Ultimately, users want autonomy over their information, what they provide, to whom and how long, and for what use. The issue may be compounded by the fact that the platform is yielding to the government regulatory pressure, whether it is the responsibility of governments or platforms to protect younger users, and to what extent remains a hotly debated issue. Assuming the changes go into effect, users will be allowed to choose between facial age estimation and submitting a form of identification to an online partner working with Discord. The company says selfies used for age estimation will remain on users' devices, and that identity documents submitted to vendors will be deleted immediately. Additionally, users will only have to go through the process once, and their age group status would not be visible to other users. How much do I trust that? 0. The conclusion of the Persona trial does not necessarily signal a reversal of the broader policy. Users who do not engage with mature content on the platform may not notice any changes, and should not have to verify their age to continue using Discord. Critics arguing that any collection of identity data carries inherent risk, even with deletion safeguards. For now, Discord's age assurance rollout appears to be on track, even as questions about privacy and implementation persist. I can tell you that, yes, I do have a Discord. I do believe that the link to it is in the description of all my videos. I don't use it that much. I don't really understand how the different room setups work and so forth. And I was planning to do a dive into learning and making the most use that I could out of the platform until I started seeing this. And then I was like, I'm not sure I want to support a platform like this going forward. So, and let's see what you guys are saying here. Back up here. Yeah, Discord won't be seeing my face. Yeah. Every time I hear about the verification, I want to moon them and say, verify this, MFers. Well, you know, they'll send a picture of your backside to the FBI, and they have experts in that sort of recognition. We know that from the movie Grease. Discord has been hacked 4 times in 7 years. So no, I'm not trusting them with any more information than I have to give. Absolutely. And honestly, I don't need Discord. If they push and they say, you know, you need to supply us or even a third-party vendor with an ID, or you know, you got to pay for a premium service, no. I'll drop my account. I will just get rid of it. I am happy that Discord has discarded their partnership with Persona for age verification, because I would have been, it would have been a horrible headache. Yeah, but they're just going to go with somebody else, Wallace. It's going to be someone else. It's just not them. It'll be a different one. Discord is learning the same lesson that Ring did. Yeah, a lot of people have canceled their Discord accounts. And if this does go through, I probably will too. UK is not a safety act. It's just Big Brother trying to control what people can see and what they can say. England needs V for Vendetta. Yeah, you're not wrong. Pay attention to the names of these laws and these acts. They're usually describing the opposite of what they really are. The Patriot Act is really the Fascist Act. It really is. It's not about patriotism. It's about control. It's about giving the government more control, which is very much the opposite of patriotism to this country, right? This country, patriotism, is about we, the people, government of the people, by the people, and for the people, not the government ruling over you. That fighting against that idea is where this country came from, right? So whenever you see, you know, a name for something, a safety act, it's not about safety. It's about control. It's about control. And they always say that too. You're giving up a little bit of freedom for greater safety. And you know what they say about people who give up freedom for safety. Many of these companies are using Vibe AI coding to make their software. Hackers and other industry vets have pointed this out as well. This is all bull. If you recall, Troy, when we create a Discord account, we have to give our date of birth. That should be enough. That's right. That's right. And if I lied about it, that's on me, not on you, right? Yeah, you're absolutely right. Hey, Jamie Lynn, good to see you. That's a shocking twist. What is a shocking twist? Don't know exactly what you're referring to. That's sometimes the problems with comments. They come up and I see them well after we're past whatever it is you're reacting to, and you're on about a 15 to 30-second delay anyway. So by the time you get a comment in and then I see it, almost a whole minute has gone by. So whatever you're referring to is, could be the whole last topic. Yeah, the greater good. The greater good. That's exactly right. Is there anything else of interest going on in the world? Zaslav is the only one that's going to make out on this Warner Brothers deal. I've been saying that all along. The Daredevil Born Again showrunner says the first season was a Frankenstein. I can imagine that's true. I think there's a lot of shows and movies now that are being cobbled together from different people doing completely different projects and having to re-edit them based on mandates from the companies. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Yeah, well, that's collectivism, right? And people have lost track of the spot, the whole dynamic of that. That was Star Trek, Star Trek II, where Spock was quoting some sort of logical precept. But that logical precept was based on a complete lack of emotion and not giving any weight to anything but numbers. And it indirectly is pointing to the same thought experiment as the trolley, the trolley conundrum, right? Where you've got a train barreling down a track, and you could switch the track to go one way or the other, where it's going to hit, one person or 5 people. Do you save the 5 and kill one, or do you, save the one? And then you start looking at things. If you just look at numbers, the Vulcan would say you kill 1 to save 5. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. And that's where it ends. But, if the 5 are, drug dealing, gang members, and the 1 is the guy who's going to cure cancer, you weigh those kinds of things, right? That's the human element of it, It really says more about the person trying to decide than anything else. But the irony is that in claiming this logical, and from the point of view of the story, in laying claim to this emotionless, calculating precept in Vulcan philosophy, he's sacrificing himself for his friends, which you can't argue that it wasn't an emotional decision on his part. You could almost say a very Christian concept. No greater love hath a man than he laid down his life for his friends. So yeah, that is the problem with modern thinking. And I see we're coming to the end of our time, speaking of which, so I probably should start winding this down. As you heard in the promo for the Members Night at the Movies this Monday, confirmation that yes, Friday night is going to be a special last call focusing on a retrospective of the character of the Incredible Hulk. Comics, cartoons, movies, TV shows, toys, especially toys. And on that note, we are going to have a very special guest who I consider to be a subject matter expert on the character of the Incredible Hulk, and especially Incredible Hulk collectibles and toys. Tony Roberts from Analog Toys will be with us. So it'll be last call for us, but it'll be morning mimosas, I think, for him. He is in Australia, and he's 14 hours ahead. So it'll be Saturday morning when he's sitting down with us. I had a teacher who gave me that trolley problem, says there's an old man on one track and it's a bushload of children on the other track. Which track do you choose? And I said, I would just pull the brake. Yeah. I mean, the problem with questions like that is there are a lot of things that are like, do I even have access to that switch? Are you saying that I'm a railroad worker? Because technically, there's regulations against walking on the tracks to begin with, let alone going to a switch to pull a switch or whatever the case is. And I know that's not meant to be part of it, but in the real world, that's the example you used. These are the things you'd be concerned about. Am I going to go to jail for this? Is anybody's life there worth mine? When honestly, not my responsibility. I don't have to do anything at all, But, yeah, there's actually web pages where you can be given various permutations of it, and you can do whatever you want. There's a guy on the track here, and there's a dog on the track. Well, you save the dog, of course. In real life, that might not work on a railroad. I was on a train that hit someone. Not a damn thing the crew could do. And switches are not always where they are convenient. And he probably went on to say something about passenger trains versus commercial trains. But yeah, no, it's absolutely true. People don't understand the physics of trains. Netter was telling me that there's another one of these TikTok challenges going on out there where people are lying down on the tracks, so the train goes over them and recording themselves. And I'm like, that is stupid. All it takes is for something to be hanging down lower than you think, and you could end up dead or horribly, horribly injured. Can you imagine getting your belt caught on something underneath a train and being dragged across those wood planks and stones? It would just be horrifying. What a horrible way to die. Literally being beaten to death by the ground, abraded till your whole front came off. Because that train is not slowing down. It is not. It could be doing 20 miles an hour, and it's not going to do less than that because of you. The drag that you're doing cannot overcome the sheer mass of that locomotive. Even if it's slowing down, you're going to be dragged at 20 miles an hour, or 30, or 40, or 75, depending on how fast that train is going. If the one is my child or a family member I actually like, and 5 are people I don't know, I'm saving my family. Yeah, you have a bias, right? That's the human factor there, right? I don't know that person. They could be great people. They could also be assholes. I don't know. But anyway. Boy, we got really thoughtful on a Thoughtful Tuesday, didn't we? want to thank you guys all for coming and hanging out with me. I need to go refill my drink. It's getting pretty low. And I want you guys to take care of yourselves. Hail hydration. Be responsible in your drinking habits. And hope to see you on the next one, which is tonight on Live from Sparkwood and 21, followed by Sherlock Holmes. This is the busy night, guys. So hope to see you around. Take care of yourselves. Salute.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again real soon.
So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun, our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon, chasing that jazz under the high noon.